Is there anything you're anxious about today? You know, anxiety often sneaks in when life feels uncertain, overwhelming, or maybe out of control. But Philippians 4 gives us a better way, a life where we're anxious for nothing. The Bible says, be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. So instead of letting worry take over, we're called to take everything to God. Everything, right? In prayer and petition with a heart of thanksgiving. Now, this isn't just unloading your burdens. It's about trusting the one who can carry them. Prayer shifts our focus from the problem to the person of peace. And thanksgiving always reminds us of God's past faithfulness and strengthens our confidence for His present care. And here's the promise. When we trade anxiety for prayer, God gives us peace. Now, not a shallow calm or something like that, but a supernatural peace that surpasses all understanding. Now, it doesn't always change our situation, but it changes us, right? It guards our hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. So when anxiety rises, don't suppress it, surrender it. Run to God with an open hand and a thankful heart. His peace will meet you where you are, stronger than fear, deeper than worry, anchored in Jesus. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. There she goes. I have no explanation as to how that kind of happens. It's kind of like there's a gremlin that comes in overnight and does what it wants to when you go to talk. So we're back live now. Sorry about the no sound a minute ago. It was kind of watching, what was those, what they used to call them, the no talkies? Wow, sorry about that. Good morning. As we wait for a high of about 90 today, it's going to be warm. We should have 97 on that heat index side and showers this afternoon. 80% chance of the wet stuff coming up. The gang is gathering together, slowly but coming. Well, most of us will be here. Fun Friday on the way beginning at 7. I hope you'll join us. We'll tell you all about what happened in the last 24 hours in the area. That's up and coming. As we start looking at what's going on nationwide, let's see what we've got this morning. We have a teacher that's in hot water. This went on in South Carolina for roughly 4 years, as they say she groomed a student. After he turned 18 and graduated, he spilled the beans. Teacher's in trouble and arrest is coming. My, oh, my, oh, my. What else is happening? Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, I really don't think that this will pass. It's a nice thought, and it's a pat on your back to say that you proposed it, but I just don't see this happening. She is introducing a no tax on home sales. If you were to sell your home, that you would never have to pay tax on that. I just don't see the federal government giving up that kind of money. Do y'all? I don't. I mean, it is nice to think that it could happen, but very doubtful. But we'll give her an A for effort there and putting that in her feather. A feather in her hat, rather, so to speak. This happened in Florida. You ever seen one of those good moments where the good guy does something? A baby deer somehow or another got washed out in the ocean. They had about 4 or 5 people that swam out and saved the deer. That was in Flagler Beach, Florida. Happened this past Sunday. That's good. Shows that mankind still cares there. We're glad that did happen there. Doctor, I heard about this in less than 24 hours as we're all set back and looking at this as these children passed away in Texas from this flooding. The last number I got, and I haven't looked this morning, was 118 with still 167 people still missing. That's how tragic this was. We have a doctor that soon after these floods began and people were dying when she done this, took to social media to say that you get what you deserve for voting for Donald Trump. She did just that. Dr. Kristen B. Prost. She's been fired. her employer didn't like it any more than you did. She released a statement saying she takes full responsibility for what she said. It went viral. She said she blames it on not knowing that so many precious lives were lost when it happened. It doesn't matter whether you knew someone died or not. People were losing their homes. Politics should have no part when people are in danger. People spew bad things, and she done just that. Let me go down and read exactly what the post that it's now deleted, of course. It said, "May all visitors, children, non-mega voters, and pets be safe and dry." So basically, she was saying if you voted for Donald Trump or roughly was a Republican, you should die. Kerr County MAGA voted to gut FEMA. They deny climate change. May they get what they voted for. Bless their hearts, is what she said. She's out of a job. And she should be. As a doctor of any sort, you don't do that. And also, we've got another story coming up that we'll share of a nurse. Politics should be left out of things like this. You don't do that. There is nothing wrong with having a different political view from someone, but don't wish ill will on anyone. I truly don't, and I hope you wouldn't either. Trump is heading to Texas today. He's given it a few days where they could do their job. He's now going to tour the site and check on everybody there. An Iranian official has made a threat upon Trump as we speak about him this morning, that there could be an attack there at Mar-a-Lago. I don't think that would be a smart move on their behalf. Here's the other one that I mentioned just a moment ago, again, where you don't bring in politics. They don't know exactly who this is. They've got her picture, and I'm sure that this will come out before long. And I'll show you what her picture looks like. This was posted to X, and it says, "Meet Sarah. She's a nurse in Colorado who publicly said that she plans to combine her job in the ER with targeting people who support MAGA." Basically saying that she would target anyone who voted for Trump in the ER. Now, you're there to help people, not hurt them. This is straight from X. That's Sarah, as they look for where she works. You can't do that. And as the post goes on to say, let's make her famous. As we switch, we have two sad stories in a row. I hate to even do these, but you have to, because it hopefully brings light to something that is bad. I remember doing the first one this year, and I told you then it would not be the last. A 1-year-old has died after the mother left a 1-year-old in the back seat of a car to go get lip filler. Kind of a selfish reason, isn't it? Our second case of this morning is a 5-year-old little boy died in the back seat of a car when his mother thought she had dropped him off at a daycare. You know, and I noticed this as I got out of it. You know, I drove the same car for 20-something years.
Until it got put on the record.
Yeah, until it got put on the record. I thought, well, it's time to do something. But as I was getting out of I had not noticed it until yesterday. As I got ready I put it in park, and I was getting ready to get out, and it said, "Check your back seat." And I thought, oh, there's a criminal back there. My truck knows it. But what that was telling me was to look in the back seat to make sure you haven't left someone. I've never noticed that before. Is that some type of software update that the car gets that I don't know about? But I ain't connected to nothing, so I don't know how all that works. But that is the first time I've ever seen my car talk to me like that. And it wasn't about my battery. Let's go get him or anything like that with Eddie Murphy. My, oh my. How do you know when you're in, let me word this correctly, you're up to here with your wife? How do you know that? That there's no way to paddle out of this? Well, the Texas Attorney General, Ken Paxton, may be at that point. He's been married for 38 years. Y'all want me to read you what his wife said yesterday? It says, today, after 38 years of marriage, I have filed for divorce on biblical grounds, she wrote on Twitter. I believe marriage is a sacred conveyance, and I have earnestly pursued reconciliation. But in light of recent discoveries, I do not believe that it honors God or is loving to myself, my children, or kin to remain in the marriage. He has messed up. Now, one can only believe, or, well, you know where we're going by what was just said there. That's what you call it. Was that song Busted?
Yep.
That's what that sounds like there.
Me.
We have the Indiana Attorney General says the county ignored ICE requests to hold an immigrant. The sheriff says it never happened. What are we talking about? In Bloomington, Indiana, the Attorney General Todd claims that a man that was arrested for the second time for attempted rape in Bloomington, Illinois, was an illegal immigrant, and that they ignored requests to get him. He said, she said, we'll see who has the documentation to back that up. How many times have we... I just don't know who owns the video is the only reason I'm not going to play this, because they get real touchy about it, who owns this video and that video. It was on X. But how many times have we watched the TV shows to where the cops go after the bad guy and he's going there and they do the pit maneuver and the bad guy spins out of control? LAPD attempted it yesterday. I used the word attempted. They tapped the car and then they immediately ran into a brick wall.
Oh.
He needs to go back to training. They're going to do some training out at the facility today, aren't they, Odie?
Yes.
You know, he might want to go out and practice driving. I ain't making fun of folks, but he just clearly didn't know how to hold a car. Tweet of the day. He's getting serious here as Donald J. has released a statement. It says, it is very important that all Republicans adhere to my recession bill, and in particular, defund the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, PBS, and NPR, which is worse than CNN and MSNBC put together. Any Republican that votes to allow this monstrosity to continue broadcasting will not have my support or endorsement. Thank you for your attention to this matter, Donald J. Trump. I think he just kind of put it out there, didn't he? Authorities in the search, remember the guy that we told you that might have been spotted that is accused of killing his 3 children? They've ended the search as they entered that campground. They found a guy that looked like him. So they've ended the search and are, again, assuming that he has passed away somewhere. They, I think it was ABC News that requested the information on this. Often as officials, as of yesterday when we had some emergencies in Lauderdale County, a firefighter, a volunteer will make a call to dispatch and request something. And that's just what happened during these Texas floods. An emergency worker called 911 on his radio and asked for them to send an alert, a flood alert, that trouble was coming. The person on the other end of it goes, well, let me see if I can do that. It would be 90 minutes before anything was done. 90 minutes, it was all over by then. There's red tape, something that's not right. Or did someone not do their job? I don't have the answer to that, but I can guarantee you there's going to be a full investigation into this. Where we got a total of 300 people near about missing or dead, 118 dead confirmed, 160-something still missing. Sometimes you got to bend the rules, don't you, Odie?
You do what you got to do.
When it's safety involved, warn. If there's a mistake and a warning, you can always back up, in my opinion. You go, well, we made a small mistake, but you're okay. When you don't, yeah, that's it. Err on the side of caution. What a good word there. Boy, you stayed at a Holiday Inn last night, didn't you?
That's right.
Odie's on it. A woman who stowed away on a Paris flight, she hid in an airplane, landed, and she didn't speak English. I think she was Russian. And she's been sentenced. She's going to get a year. She's already actually served a year in jail as she awaited trial. So she'll get out now. She says that the U.S. government was trying to hurt her, so she climbed in an airplane and hid. And the more I read into this, I think, is the word schizo. She had some issues, and they probably took that into account. She was hiding from somebody that probably wasn't chasing her. Horrible here in California as we go for this. You think of a kid playing in a yard, storm blows up. This was at a summer camp. Wind blew up, a tree limb fell, and the poor child is deceased now after striking the child. Doesn't that hurts? We still need to know these. Do y'all remember it used to be real popular in gas stations. You know the claw thing? Where you reach down and you put in, it's probably $10 now to do it, to try to get a stuffed animal. We had a child in Ohio Monday that wanted it real bad. Where they drop it out, he went right up in the chute, got hung. Firefighters had to get him out. He was okay, but he wanted that bad. He stood there long enough and wanted to climb up in there and get it. Hey, here's any dog owners out there, here's something good. Only once a year, and it's getting approved. The FDA has approved a 12-month flea and tick treatment for puppy dogs. You get it once a year. That'll be good. I think what we've been using is every 90 days you drop it on the neck there, and it does work. Ellie really doesn't like all that kind of stuff. She don't want to go outside, number one. She's like, whoa, it's hot out there. Let me stay here. Let's see here. Paul McCartney, oh boy. This is Paul McCartney. Of course, he was with the Beatles. He's announced that he's going to be doing a U.S. tour. This one of the Eldie, is this another one of those Geritol tours to where they get on stage and you?
Gotta be.
Look, I'm still in shock after seeing Diamond Rio. I think every one of them was helped on stage. Well, that messed up my head. I'm used to seeing those videos of them being young, and then, wow, what happened to you? He's going to be touring if you got to see that. Hey, we saw this, and you don't hear this very often. A Delta airline was stranded overnight on an island in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. They had trouble with the plane, and they had to make an emergency landing. They had to call in a mechanic, and everybody had to stay on the island there overnight. I guess it was big enough. They had an airport for them to land on. I'm going to pronounce this guy's name right, but it needs to be said regardless. Do you remember the guy that was heading the protest at the college? At Columbia University. His name is Mohammed Khalil, possibly. Anyway, he was leading demonstrations that he shouldn't have been. He was arrested, thrown in jail over all of this, and he's gotten out. He's demanding that he be paid $20 million for his efforts, or he will take an apology from Donald J. Trump. What y'all think? He ain't gonna get no apology. I know that.
No.
Do y'all remember, we talked about this week and a half ago, to where church had a guy that was coming in with a gun, and one of the people that went to church there used their truck to stop him. He had his gun out, started shooting, and one of the deacons of the church ran over him. The truck was totaled out. A local Ford company has given him a new Ford truck.
Well, that's cool.
That's nice. I don't know her, so we're just going to stay. I don't know much about purses. I'll have to ask. That girl is skipping on us again, y'all, so she can't answer it. But how many times are we going to have American companies sell out? This one, do your best, Tony the Tiger over there.
They're great.
Tony the Tiger Kellogg's is selling out, y'all. A European country has bought this cereal giant.
There you go, send it overseas.
The Kellogg Company being sold. Isn't that like as American as apple pie?
Yeah.
Or at least I thought it was. That's in the headlines this morning. We'll be right back to check your forecast next. We got a lot more stories to come up, things to talk about during the morning show. Don't miss out on this. We'll be right back with your forecast.
Hi, this is Nick at Doc's Toyota, and we are excited to put you in a new Toyota today. We have no dealer markup, no hidden fees, no hassle, and our inventory is always priced to move. Our top-notch sales department and first-class service after the sale guarantees you a fast and comfortable buying experience like you've never had. So come see why month after month, more and more customers have chose to buy from Doc's Toyota. So come see us here at Doc's Toyota in Philadelphia at docstoyota.com or on Facebook. And remember, there's no deal like a Doc's deal.
For over 40 years, you've been able to count on Watt Equipment in DeKalb, Mississippi. They've got your Massey Ferguson's brand new 23 up to 135 horse cab and air tractors. They've got all your hay equipment needs, all your bush hogs. If your tractor needs it, they got it. Also remember, they service all makes and models, whether it's green, orange, blue, red, or yellow. They can get your parts in, they can do your service on your equipment. Don't forget Watt Equipment, DeKalb, Mississippi.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA.
Welcome back. As we look at our record highs and record lows, it was 1930. We had a record high of 103. Back in 63, it was a cool day. 58 was our record low. Again, nothing from the National Weather Service in Jackson on the forecast for Mississippi. Alabama brings in 89 for Demopolis. We'll see that in Birmingham as well. Even Auburn holding steady at 89. We do see it warmer in Montgomery and southward. As we look for the weekend and into next week, it's going to be warm, but hotter toward Vicksburg, Jackson area, and Hattiesburg. As we look at the temperatures across here, here's what we got. That southwestern corner of Mississippi is going to be a little bit hotter than the rest of the state for the next 10 days. As we look at this, here's our forecast 7 days ahead. 91 today. We'll see 80% chance of showers this afternoon. We could get wet. 60% chance to begin the weekend, decreasing to a 40% on Sundays. You head off to church, the high of 95. And we're going to hold these rain chances every day next week. Look at this, 40, 40, 40. And by Wednesday, they start to rise again. We'll see a 50% chance of rain on Wednesday, 60% chance on Thursday is what we're showing here. Now let's go another week into this. Look at this, still 60% chance all the way. Well, we got a 40% there on the 24th and 25th. But rain chances every day from now through the 25th. We could get wet, y'all. Grass is going to grow it's bad. Let's talk about fishing today as we head out to Clarkdale Superette, looking for worms, anything like that, minnows. They've got them. The wind's going to be light west, southwest wind becoming 5 to 10 this morning. Now, your major times to fish will be at 1 o'clock this afternoon through about 3. We got another time right after dark. So dusk dark, it might be okay to go give it a try. Sunrise happened at 5:56 this morning, and we will have sunlight until 8:04 this afternoon. Now, what's happening as we turn to the National Hurricane Center? Absolutely nothing is forecasted for the next 7 days. That's good. Gulf of America is all clear. We like that. Nothing wrong with that. Let me see if we can pull up and take a look at radar real quick before we get ready to go to the morning show. As we pull this up, as we go to Doc's Toyota radar, nothing going on in the great state of Mississippi. It's all clear there. We do have a little bit of fog as we get over near Gadsden. The further you go to the northeast, Huntsville, Murfreesboro, Knoxville, up into Asheville, those areas there are going to have fog this morning. But looks good all the way through the south. From Texas all the way over to Florida, we're looking good today. Again, rain chances roll into the forecast this afternoon. Currently, 73 as we're all waking up. We'll get this day started in just a few moments. Join us beginning at 7 o'clock, won't you? Well, part of the gang is here. We'll talk about it on the way at the Scotty Ray Report. We'll be right back.